Yo, Sanjay Uchiha here, people, bringing you my review on Dragon Ball Super Episode 99. And coming right off it, honestly, it's definitely a decent episode to say the least. Personally, it's better than episode 98 for me that aired last week. Because last week, episode 98, the first half at least kind of dragged on for me, but anyway, let's get into it. But first, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comment section. Share this video out. Let me know what you think. You know the works. But let's get right into it. So, continuing off last week's episode, we have the characters kind of, I guess, bathing in the aftermath of what they just saw, essentially speaking, which was, the Zenos essentially destroying Universe 9, including the God of Destruction, the Kai, and the 10 fighters that were participating in the tournament of power as well. So everybody's there like, shit, this is for real. So that's basically like the first few minutes of this episode, honestly speaking. And we have Whis and a few of the other characters like Champa as well, basically analyzing not only what Zeno has done, but we have a little input from Whis in terms of how the fighters may proceed after this, in the sense that Universe 9, they all went on the offensive, honestly speaking. They had a good plan, which went sloppy towards the end, but looking at it in retrospect, Whis is essentially saying that probably other universes will be more cautious going forward, which is only to be expected now that they know that they basically have confirmed the stakes of this tournament are more or less a reminder. But after this, we have the fighters actually getting back into gear after a few minutes of I guess downtime, and unlike you'd think, how should I even put it? You'd think this would make the episode feel like it's dragging, but it actually works wonderfully to me, actually. It's always good to see the different characters' perspectives on the actual stakes that are at hand right here. But after this, we have the tournament start back up, and we have this guy from Universe 4, this parrot guy. Obviously, I don't have the name for a lot of these fighters in the tournament, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But yeah, we have this guy from Universe 4 attack Universe 7, and through a combination attack, we have Master Roshi, Gohan looking badass in this episode, I'm not gonna lie, even though he had like, a few seconds of screen time. So there was that. But yeah, we have a combination from the Universe 7 fighters, which was Piccolo, well, I think it was Roshi, Gohan, and Krillin. Because this episode is basically Krillin-centric based on the title. But they take him out. And before I even go further in this, that's one thing I think the episode does well, is the dynamics between various characters in terms of their teamwork, which I absolutely love. Because in this episode we had a bit of Krillin and Android 18, which was pretty, I guess, kind of cute. We had, even though we didn't see them team up, we had a little moment there between 17 and 18. Of course, as I just mentioned, we had a little combination between Gohan, Krillin, and Roshi. And honestly speaking, it definitely works. I like it. I kind of hope, even though I do know that things are going to, I guess, water down and probably might not see as much teamwork or combinations like that, but I hope we do. But for what it's worth, it made this episode shine absolutely, I guess, bright for me. But yeah, so we have this one scene of Android 18 essentially going in, and we had some throwaway dialogue here, which I absolutely love. I mean, everybody who's watched Dragon Ball Z already knows that the artificial humans, the cyborgs, the androids, we know they're basically have infinite stamina. So we already knew this, but to see them actually kind of throw it out there in like just some dialogue, it's actually pretty refreshing to see, honestly speaking. So we have 17 and 18 making a plan to make use of their infinite stamina, which obviously why not? So we have 18 going in. She's fighting this wolf guy from Universe 4, who apparently has the ability to play dead, which was ridiculous. So we see 18 overpower him playing dead, and basically attacking 18 when she lets her guard down. Then we have Krillin. This was a weird scene for me. I think this was like my, well, One of my problems with the episode, and that when Krillin jumps off the fighting stage to save 18, it kind of looks like he's flying. He uses a key blast to propel himself back into the ring. Granted, I do know back in like original Dragon Ball, like for example, Goku versus Tien, and Goku didn't know to fly, but he would jump very high and kind of seem like he's levitating as well. So I guess that seems kind of 50-50 when I think of it like that. So,
Just in spring time, nag-ground used to keep mo.
yeah,
Like when you choose up mo, pinahihiro si it look like it full, like a big full come on.
yeah,
This bad.
yeah, for real. All right, so continuing, people. So we have Krillin saving 18, which I thought was a nice touch there. If memory serves right, we have 18 and Krillin pulling off a nice combination, which we see. I mean, if you watch the episode, you saw it yourself, but we have them exchanging key blast. We have Krillin fire a key blast, Wolf Guy dodges, 18 catches it and tosses it back. And I think it's implied that each time they toss it back to each other, they add a bit of energy to it. It's implied, and they basically corner him until he can't dodge anymore and knock him out. And it's funny that most of the three fighters that got disqualified in this turn, in this episode, of the four rather, three of them were from Universe 4, so that was kind of funny. I'm hoping with later episodes we kind of mixed up a bit and we get to see multiple fighters, but from varying universes get disqualified, and not just singling on one particular universe for an episode, which based on spoilers, it seems like it will be the case for next episode. But yeah. So we do have the final fighter, well not the final, but the final fighter from Universe 4 for the episode comes in, and we have Krillin pulling off this solar flare times 100 to essentially blind him. And I can see a lot of people probably complaining why Krillin didn't use his head to see that his eyes are closed and all that, but you've got to think back on the recruitment episodes when Krillin went up against Gohan, in that the solar flare times 100 even works when you have your eyes closed. But we do find out that this guy is essentially blind, so he's basically using his sense of smell to essentially locate where 18 and Krillin are. So I actually like that. There was a nice touch to actually have a blind fighter. I guess it should have been expected, but we have Krillin taking center stage again, saying that he has a plan to actually beat this guy, and we have a little exchange, so a little tussle there. And it's interesting to note because when Krillin starts fighting this guy, like some of the fighting scenes here, it kind of remind me of Goku versus Jiren in the opening. Funny enough, that was kind of, I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I did. But whatever. So yeah, so Krillin uses like literally takes off his shoes and throws it at the guy and basically messes up his sense of smell because apparently Krillin's shoes stinks like hell. So Krillin fires a Kamehameha, hit him off, and it's after this that we get Krillin doing a bit of, I guess, his winning streak went to his head and he had a bit of Goku syndrome, letting his guard down, where we see Frost come in. At one point I thought it was Frieza, but it was Frost come in and basically knock him out. So I guess that's what the spoilers meant by disqualified. Because I don't know, a lot of people, including myself, thought that Krillin probably might get disqualified for probably accidentally killing somebody with a Destructo disc, but that's not the case. He's disqualified by Frost. He's knocked out by Frost. And the episode literally ends here. As I said, it was a pretty decent episode. The pacing was pretty good, as opposed to last week, honestly speaking. Krillin definitely got his moments in this episode. I'm actually satisfied with how Krillin went out. I know it was kind of stupid of him to let his guard down there, and it was kind of funny because Beerus and Supreme Kyber, they tried not to join, but they were absolutely pissed that he got knocked out. But it sucks that he's got knocked out already, considering that we had all those build-up episodes with Krillin and those training episodes with Krillin, but whatever. But aside from that, as I mentioned before, the dynamic between the characters in the episode, the characters that actually teamed up. And before I forget, I think I forgot to mention, yes, both Tomo and Vegeta in this episode. It was fun seeing them team up against Vegeta. At one point, I thought Hit was going to join in, but I guess Hit doesn't really give a damn. But yeah, seeing Vegeta and Botamo team up, that's a very tricky duo to actually go up against. I like that the characters are actually using their abilities, and it's not just a contest of like raw strength, like Dragon Ball Z builds up a lot of things to be. So that was interesting as well. I like the character. I just love the teamwork. That definitely sells this episode. Um, but yeah, definitely a decent episode. I'm looking forward to next week's episode based on the preview. Um, I just hope since it involves the Universe 6 Saiyans, it doesn't do something stupid, but whatever. But all in all, that's all I have for this review. So rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Are you upset that Krillin's out already? Even though I do feel that a lot of people expected Krillin to be the first one, surprisingly. But my money was on Roshi, but But yeah, so that's all I have for this one. And I'll see you in the next one.